We're beginning Chapter 33, the Epilogue of Transformation of America. Absolute mind control was the only existence we knew until Mark Phillips recused my then 8-year-old daughter, Kelly, and me directly from the CIA, DIA, Department of Intelligence. DIA? What was DIA? Department of Intelligence Assessment. Yeah, that's what it was. I was right. MK Ultra, Mind Control Ultra Project. So CIA, DIA, MK Ultra, Project Monarch in 1988, which Bill Clinton apologized for. Though a series of carefully orchestrated events, Mark cleverly maneuvered our mind control handler, Alex Houston, into a position of trust that provided him the latitude to lift us free of our existence unscathed. When my owner, U.S. Senator Robert C. Byrd, and other so-called leaders of our country involved in the project realized the problem Alex Houston's bumbling had created, Mark took us to the safety of Alaska, where we began remembering that which we were supposed to forget. The safety and serenity of Alaska provided an atmosphere conducive to deprogramming. Despite the pandemonium that ensued, Mark Phillips was the first man who not only did not abuse us, but cared for our welfare and well-being. His patient, gentle manner was therapeutic, while his propensity for handling weapons and apparent intellect kept us safe at all odds. Though his noble actions, Mark taught Kelly and me that the world of human interaction in which we had existed for so long was contrary to most human behavior. We learned that goodness does exist on this earth, and that there were those in Washington, D.C. who refused to tolerate the mind control atrocities they witnessed us and others enduring. As my eyes opened and I woke up to the reality, I became enraged for the traumas inflicted on my daughter, enraged for a lifetime of abuse that at the hands of our country's so-called leaders, enraged that the American public had no idea as to who and what is running their country. Mark helped me refocus my rage in a productive direction when he told me, "The best revenge is total recovery." I began recovering at the rate of 18 hours a day through intensive therapy destined to restore my memory and, ultimately, my mind. I learned the ins and outs of my own mind and recorded my memories in a journal. The stack of journals grew as over a decade of White House Pentagon level abuse flooded my mind and intruded on my thoughts. Pictures from my past flashed across my mind as neuron pathways opened in my brain. I was regaining access to my own mind and control over my future by recovering memory of my past. Best of all, I was falling deeply in love with Mark Phillips. Why wouldn't I fall in love? He rescued my daughter and me from certain demise, restored my free will, was helping me recover in total safety, and was the polar opposite of my abusers. He treated me with love, respect, and thoughtful consideration. Equally as important, Mark proved to be an ideal father figure to Kelly. He provided her with unconditional love and deep understanding. Through him, Kelly caught a glimpse of how kind men can be and how good life can be. I had long since ceased to hope that such a man ever existed. The love factor in my recovery is considerable. Not only did Mark Phillips save my life, but now I had reason to live it. The love we shared kept me going at times, like when Kelly was institutionalized in 1989 for homicidal, suicidal behavior. The loving relationship that Mark shared with Kelly during our short year together as a family was sufficient to arm her with the strength to survive her ensuing ordeal as a victim of the so-called mental health and criminal justice system. Kelly, until she turned 18, remained as a political prisoner in the custody of the state of Tennessee, where she was denied qualified therapy for the MK Project Monarch mind control abuses she endured. The state of Tennessee, under the politically powerful influence of Kelly's abusers, was in violation of numerous laws and basic civil rights in their determined efforts to keep Kelly from qualified therapy and the family she loves. While many of those in positions to make a difference in Kelly's case operate on a need-to-know basis rather than deliberately conspire with the bad guys, a closer look into Kelly's case history should raise serious questions in their minds. Questions like, what could a child have to do with so-called national security in our country? The juvenile court judge presiding over Kelly's case closed the doors to the media and onlookers for reasons of national security. While gross and blatant violations of laws and rights ensued, for over 3 long years, Kelly and I had been denied our right to an unbiased attorney, while court-appointed advocates and so-called guardians joined forces with attorneys paid off by my pedophile father. My own court-appointed attorney, who doubtless for the juvenile court judge, when he takes a day off, wait a minute, fucking up the flow here. Ooh, that's a big sentence. Starting over. For over 3 long years, Kelly and I have been denied our right to an unbiased attorney, while court-appointed advocates and so-called guardians join forces with attorneys paid off by my pedophile father. My own court-appointed attorney, who doubles for the juvenile court judge when he takes a day off, has yet to represent my interest. My interest is in Kelly's well-being and future, and if she will have a future at all. While Kelly is still amnesic with regard to most of her past, she is deliberately denied therapeutical access to her past due to who and what she will recall. I am denied access to Kelly for fear she would be triggered into remembering by my mere presence. As for my deliberately triggering Kelly to remembering what she was supposed to forget, her abusers fear. It has been my experience that recovery must come from the inside out, not from the outside input. I want no less for Kelly than the piece by piece. Wait a minute. I want no less for Kelly than the peace, P-I-E-C-E, and P-E-A-C-E. That's just what's written here. I want no less for Kelly than the peace of mind to have gained through qualified rehabilitation, which raises the questions. Why has the juvenile court prohibited us from saying the name George Bush? Why is the Wizard of Oz a taboo subject for Kelly while the state of Tennessee provides her with Stephen King horror novels? Why are Kelly and I forbidden by the court to say the words president, politics, New World Order, and mind control? In an attempt by Senate employees to normalize our relationship, Kelly and I are forbidden to discuss the past, my immediate efforts to affect her dire and desperate situation, or future plans as a family. Most appalling and unjust in Kelly's view in the state of Tennessee's refusal to allow her any contact whatsoever with Mark Phillips. While I am hindered from having private conversations with my daughter due to court-ordered supervision and censorship, Kelly is denied the right to even wave to Mark across the parking lot, considering that, like me, Mark has never been named as an abuser, declared unfit, or violated any court orders. The question must be asked, why does the state of Tennessee go to such lengths to ban all communication between Kelly and the man who rescued her and taught her the meaning of unconditional love? Kelly has asked these questions for years to no avail. The state of Tennessee refuses to even acknowledge her request for an unbiased attorney who will represent her interests instead of those of the state. Kelly's pleas for an attorney to represent her go no farther than the deaf ears of the assigned state social worker managing her case. This social worker is operating on a need-to-know basis. That has no basis, and she needs to know that she, along with the state of Tennessee, will be held accountable in the event that Kelly hurts someone or herself. Kelly's frustrations have mounted beyond her ability to cope. I applaud Kelly for her determined but weakened efforts to stay in control of her own mind, despite being denied qualified rehabilitation for the devastating results of Project Monarch mind control abuses. Kelly's daily attempts to accomplish the impossible by psychologically, okay, another play on words, here's psycho and capital words, Logically, psychologically managing her psychiatric disorder is proportionate to her high intellect and willful determination. But it is not enough to fend off the psychological warfare that has been waged against her through CIA damage containment practices designed to keep her containment in amnesic silence. She needs help. She needs a collective voice. Kelly can be helped through public outcry and through abolishment of the 1947 National Security Act and 1984 Reagan Amendment to same that has destroyed the true security of our once great nation. You can write to your congressmen and senators demanding the so-called National Security Act be repealed. Do it today. Thank you. Update. Now that Kelly is 18, fall 1998, despite public outcry that grew to include a wide variety of international rights organizations, I thought that was a comma. Despite public outcry that grew to include a wide variety of international rights associations with numerous documents, letters directed to Tennessee's governors, many of which were copied to me, Kelly has yet to be granted her right to a qualified technological rehabilitation for the proven U.S. government-sponsored MKUltra mind control abuses she endured since birth. Those few criminals in control of our country, our information, and subsequently our criminal justice system refuse to provide the known but nevertheless classified technological antidote for a problem they won't admit it exists. In view of over 70,000 declassified documents, evidences, videos, medical records, affidavits, and government insider testimony proving the reality of the MKUltra mind control abuses Kelly and I endured that are part of what Mark Phillips and I accumulated over the years, it is absolutely inexcusable that in this case said in a 1991 Nashville, Tennessee juvenile court hearing, laws do not apply in this case for reasons of national security. After a decade of cover-up, Kelly was released untreated from the custody of the state of Tennessee. In the interim, she is waiting in a safe environment for the rehabilitation she so desperately deserves. And I don't know what happened to Kelly. I hope she got the help she needed. This book is signed by Cathy O'Brien, though. What a horrifying read. There's still another one. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I really should read she She wrote 2 books about her ordeals, and then a book specifically directed at healing. Maybe I should read that one. Until next time.